Welcome to Derri Diary.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I got to school early by accident, so I figured I could go ahead and record this video that a lot of people have been asking me about for a very long time. And I'm talking a little low because I'm in the building, but yeah, so this is going to be a frequently asked question video because I get a lot of questions all the time about pharmacy school. So I'm going to be answering 25 questions, and I have broken these questions down into 3 sections. I have questions about before pharmacy school, questions about being in pharmacy school, and questions specifically regarding me in pharmacy school. So let's get started. Question number 1. Do you have to have a bachelor's degree to go to pharmacy school? No, you don't have to have a bachelor's degree to go to pharmacy school. You just need to make sure that you check the school you would like to attend, make sure you check their requirements, and make sure you fulfill all those requirements when you're considering what pharmacy school you want to go to. Each pharmacy school has different requirements, like this school required psychology, but another school didn't. So just make sure that you complete the prerequisites before you apply, or by the time you're planning on getting accepted, have their prerequisites met, and yeah, you don't have to have a bachelor's degree. Does your bachelor's degree have to be science-based? No, your bachelor's degree does not have to be based in science. It can actually be in anything as long as you meet the requirements that your pharmacy school that you plan on applying to require. So I think there's some people that majored in business in my class. There's people that majored in nutrition. So it doesn't have to be science-based. What GPA do I need to get into pharmacy school? It really depends on the school that you're applying to. I think most schools require at least a 3.0 GPA, but of course higher is always better. But yeah, you definitely have to check your specific school's requirements once again. How do I apply to pharmacy school? There's a website called PharmCast, and they have it's like this huge application system. So basically there's a general application, and you can apply to just about every pharmacy school with the PharmCast application. And then once you've submitted that application, each school will send you a supplemental application, most likely, to complete. And then the way PharmCast works is it's basically like a general application. You will fill it out, do your essays, get your references sent to PharmCast, get your PCAT scores, everything that you've taken, all that sent to PharmCast, and then you'll select which schools you would like your application to be sent to. Of course, I think the base fee is $150, and then it's like $50 for each additional school if it hasn't went up since I've applied. I haven't checked recently, but when I applied, it was $150 and $50 for each school, additional school that I applied to. And like I said, after that, if the school has a supplemental application, they will be sending you that as well. And sometimes the supplemental applications cost money too. So I think the highest supplemental application that I had was $75, and the lowest one was $25. Actually, the lowest one was free, but there was only one school that did not require a supplemental application fee. Do I have to take the PCAT for pharmacy school? Yes and no. The reason I say yes and no is because I believe you should take the PCAT, because majority of the schools require PCAT scores. There are a few schools that don't require the PCAT score, like the school that I'm currently at does not require the PCAT score. But if you're going to be applying to multiple schools, you probably definitely need to take the PCAT, because a majority of the schools do require the PCAT. So I would definitely say yes, take the PCAT. If you're only applying to schools that don't require the PCAT, then you probably don't have to, but I just say to be safe, I would take the PCAT at least once. How do you prepare for the PCAT? Everybody studies differently. I'm still learning how to study myself, but I bought the PCAT book, and it was actually like a Kaplan book or whatever. I had like an older version. I didn't even have the newest version book, but it was funny because some of the questions were actually from the book were on the test. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm glad that I bought the book. Do you have to document community service hours for pharmacy school? Prior to pharmacy school, no, I don't think I did, but I did list volunteer opportunities on my resume. So I would definitely recommend having some type of involvement. What do I need to do to get into pharmacy school? Great question. What you need to do to get into pharmacy school? Well, you need to keep a good GPA. I think you should be at least minimally active in school. Have at least 1 or 2 organizations on your resume. Definitely do good in your science courses. Chemistry, biology, your prerequisite classes. I would definitely recommend that you make sure that you have a good grade in those classes. I would not suggest you applying to pharmacy school if you failed chemistry. So you definitely make sure you have good grades in those classes, and do a lot of research. Do your research. Do your background checks on the schools to apply to, because every school is so different. Like I told you guys previously, I attended 3-year pharmacy school, and the only reason I attended this pharmacy school was because I was ready to get it over with. I've been in school since I was 2, and I'm just over school. I did the bachelor's, I did the master's, and this is my last stop. So definitely do your research on the school to see how you want your program to be structured. Research, definitely. How was the interview process? This is a whole video in itself, but I'm gonna give you like the basic rundown. When I got interviewed at Howard University in Washington, D.C., it was like a 4-hour situation. So my interview was at 8 o'clock. I went in, we had to take like a math test and a writing test, I believe. So we did that first, and then they broke us up into little groups. So each group was at a different section in the interview process at one time. For instance, there was one group doing the interviewing process, and then there was another group doing white coat sizing. So at the interview in Howard, they had like 6 different interview rooms. So it was either 5 or 6, I can't really remember. But anyways, there were 5 students in the group, or however many classes there were, and then each student would go from each room, and different people will interview you. So there are like 2 interviewers in each room. So there are about at least 10 people interviewed me for that, for Howard's pharmacy school. That asked mostly situational and behavioral questions. And there was nothing, it wasn't anything too difficult. It's just that they're gonna always ask you, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Why do you want to go to pharmacy school? Why do you want to go to that school? If the school is far away, like Howard was, I think it's like 8+ hours from where I live. They want to know why you want to come to this pharmacy school that's so far away and in such a different climate change. So I mean, think about those types of things. Think about the weather. If you live in the South and you're planning on moving north for pharmacy school, think about the weather. Think about how that can affect you. I'm not a snow driver. We don't have a lot of snow in the South, but at Howard, they go to school in the snow. So think about things like that when you're applying to schools. I'm definitely a Southern girl. I would never want to go north not to live, so think about that. Yeah, the interview process question is a very long, drawn out question. I think I'll just have to do a separate whole video for that, but I'm just trying to get in 25 questions in this video. Okay, so now I'm getting to the second section of questions I have that are specifically about being in pharmacy school and after pharmacy school. Do you have to do a residency/internship after pharmacy school? No, you don't have to, but I would recommend at least trying to. A lot of people are over school, so they just want to go right into retail and just go to work, which is perfectly fine because you make good money in retail. However, jobs are becoming more competitive, so I would recommend doing a residency. I plan to apply to a residency. Am I going to get in? I don't know. I would love to get in. But if I don't, I'm going to go work. If I don't get in, I'll try to work for at least a year and then try again to get in a residency. I really want to do a residency, but residencies are becoming more and more competitive every year. And I know people that have high GPAs, a lot of involvement, and they still don't get a residency. So residency is kind of scary. It's very scary because it's like, I want to get one, but it's a possibility that I won't. And I just have to keep a positive outlook, pray about it, and ask God that if it's for me, that it'll be for me. Like, see if that's what it's gonna be for me. So I definitely plan on doing a residency. No, it's not required, but it's a good thing to have. Is it hard to memorize the drugs and how they work? Yes. There are thousands of drugs out there, and it is definitely hard to remember each and every little drug that there is. The side effects are, I think, the most tedious and hard part about it. There's so many different side effects, and then, you know, if there's a class of drugs, one drug may have one different side effect. So that's very hard to know. It's hard to remember. It's just hard to memorize all the drugs. There's different mechanisms of actions, different PK or pharmacokinetic profiles. There's different ways to take the medicine. There's counseling points. Some drugs are only IV, some drugs are IV, some drugs are IM, some drugs are PO. They come in a capsule, tablet, sub-Q injection, comes in an enteric-coated capsule, delayed release. I mean, there are so many different components that you have to think about in pharmacy school. So yes, it is definitely hard to memorize everything about a drug. How is the class schedule in pharmacy school? In my pharmacy school, classes are Monday through Friday, and we have class at least until 12 every day. So this school, the 3-year pharmacy school, like I've said previously and many times before, so we go to class every day. And I think most pharmacy schools do go to class every day, but people always ask me that. They're like, do you have to go to class every day? Can I go to class, you know, here and there? Can I pick my classes? Can I do morning or night classes? No. Pharmacy school is like a cohort. You're with the same people. When you start, you're with them to the end, unless, you know, some people don't make it. So everybody has to take the same classes at the same time. And in pharmacy school, we don't have night classes. At my school, we don't have night classes. You can't just pick, I'll take molecular biology at 10 instead of taking it at 2, or I'll take pathophysiology 1 at 8 o'clock, or you know, I'll take it at 2:30. It's not like undergrad. You're given a schedule and you have to follow that schedule. That's the biggest difference between pharmacy school and undergraduate. Undergraduate, you have so much more freedom and more room to move around and do things like that with your classes and schedules. But with pharmacy school, you're given a schedule and you must follow that schedule. So yes, it's Monday through Friday. You gotta come, and classes are mandatory. It's not like you can just skip a class here, skip a class there for fun. I mean, I wouldn't advise it, but I mean, everybody has a class or two that they have skipped. I mean, I've skipped a class or two here and there, but you know, it was like an easy class, or I had a good reason why I skipped. I'll put it that way. I don't just skip to skip, because I like to make sure I hear the information from the teacher's mouth, because you never know. They may say something, they may say you don't need to know this, you know, something like that. So I like to be in class just to hear it out their mouth, even if I'm not paying attention in class. Sorry. How are the tests in pharmacy school? Again, I can only answer this question based off of me and my experience. In my school, there's more than one teacher on each test. So on Monday, we might have a teacher A. Tuesday, we might have teacher B for the same class. So let's say I'm in medicinal chemistry. So in medicinal chemistry, I might have this teacher today, but on Wednesday, I have a different teacher in medicinal chemistry. So if 5 teachers teach on one test, there's going to be 5 teachers, material, and questions on the test. So, the test will have more than one teacher, so you can't just base your testing off of one teacher, basically. So you have to learn each teacher's testing style, because questions 1 through 5 will come from this teacher, and 6 through 20 will come from another teacher. So that's how the tests are. We have testing blocks. Our testing blocks are normally Tuesdays and Friday mornings from 8 to 10. And this summer, of course, they decided to change our testing blocks from Monday to Wednesday, which kind of sucks because you don't get a weekend, but I'm not even going to go into detail about that. But normally our testing schedule is on Tuesdays and Fridays. Is there a dress code at your school? Yes, there is a dress code. The dress code is business casual. More and more pharmacy schools are converting over to the business casual attire, because when you're in the business sector, you have to dress professionally. And so if you start out dressing professionally while you're in school, you'll already gain those good habits of how to dress and how to behave yourself in a professional manner. So yes, we do have a dress code. Do I like the dress code? I think it's okay. But I think that Fridays and finals, we should be able to wear what we want to wear. But we have to wear business casual every day, all day. We do have a few scrub days here and there, but you have to pay to wear scrubs, and the money from the scrubs go to a charity organization. Can you eat in class? No, you cannot eat in class, or at least not in my school. You cannot eat in the classroom. However, do I eat in class? Yes, I break the rules all the time when I eat in class. Even though we're not supposed to eat in class, but I get hungry, so I like to snack or something in class all the time. But officially, no, we're not allowed to eat in class. My school is very, very strict. Like, we don't even have like a food court. We don't have a Starbucks or anything like that. You can't even eat in the library. I was like, this is the first school I've ever been to where you can't even eat in the library. Like, what kind of junk is that? That's so annoying to me. But anyways. And last question in this section is there a lot of chemistry in pharmacy school? Oh my gosh, yes. I get that question all the time. Like, do I need to know a lot of chemistry? You need to know the fundamentals of chemistry, I would say. If you learn them beforehand, pharmacy school will be so much easier for you. When I came to pharmacy school, I think it was like 4+ years since I had taken organic chemistry. So I still am, let me get that right. I'm still rusty on the chemistry portion. I don't like chemistry. My bachelor's was in biology. Chemistry and I are not friends, but I do good. I passed chemistry. I think I made a B in organic chemistry. So I'm not, like I said, I don't like chemistry, but there is some form of chemistry in every quarter of pharmacy school. Somebody asked me, is chemistry only in the first year, second year, third year? Well, this is a 3-year school, and 2 years of that is classroom. So yes, there's 2 years of chemistry. There's chemistry in some form or aspect every quarter, in quarters 1 through quarter 9. Yes. All right, and the last group of questions are questions kind of related to me in pharmacy school. How many schools did I apply to? I applied to 5 schools. I applied to, I believe, 2 schools outside of Georgia and 3 schools in Georgia. My first school that I got an interview at was Howard, and then I got an interview at the school I'm currently at now the week after. And then a week after my interview, I got accepted into Howard on a Monday, and I got accepted into this school that Wednesday. But I still had 2 other schools scheduled for interviews for April. So I got into school in March, and I had other interviews scheduled for April. And then the last school that I had applied to, I didn't even do the supplemental because I had already been getting so many interview requests from the other school, or I had scheduled interviews already from the other school. So the last school, I didn't even do the supplemental application, but they blew my phone up. I guess they really wanted me to finish the application and apply. But anyways, applied to 5 schools, had an interview in February, the last week of February, had an interview the first week of March, got accepted about the 3rd week of March to both schools. And you only get 2 weeks to let the schools know whether you're going to accept their acceptance, I guess. And my interviews for the other schools were in April, at the end of April, which were out of the 2-week range. And so I talked to my current fiance, he was my boyfriend then, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna go to the school that I'm at. I was like, it's a 3-year school. I just want to go ahead and get it over with. I know it's 4 hours away from home, but in the long run, I'll be done sooner. So I decided to come on down here. I paid my $1,000 deposit, and that was it. So basically, I went on 2 interviews, got accepted at both of those schools, and I picked from those 2 schools because I didn't want to wait around and go to the later interviews and miss out on the opportunity to come to this school. Question 18, what are my degrees in? I have a bachelor's degree in biology and a master's degree in health administration, public administration with a concentration in health administration. Did my school require the PCAT? No, it did not require the PCAT, and I think I already kind of touched on that a little bit. Why did I choose a 3-year over a 4-year school? I chose 3-year school over 4-year school because I'm over school and I'm tired of going to school. And I had already been going to school year round anyway. Like in undergrad, I went to school in the summer. In my master's program, I took summer classes. So it was like going to school year round for me was not a big deal. And I would rather use the summer months to progress in a doctoral program than to sit around and do nothing all summer when I could be finishing sooner, like a whole year sooner. So my thing was I was ready to finish. I wanted to finish in 3 years. I wanted to get it over with. And going to school year round was not a big thing for me. So that's why I chose a 3-year school over a 4-year school. Did I shadow or work as a pharmacy technician before coming to pharmacy school? No, I did not work in a pharmacy before coming to pharmacy school. A lot of people suggest that you do to know if you would like to be in this field, which I understand. Because I mean, people ask me, like, how did you know you want to be a pharmacist if you never worked in a pharmacy? Well, I have a cousin that's a pharmacist, and she would tell me things about it all the time, and it just seemed like an interesting job. I mean, you're a doctor in 3 or 4 years. You don't have to do a residency, and I really wanted a doctor title, but I didn't want to be a medical doctor because, one, it takes a long time to become a medical doctor, and for 2, I didn't want people's life in my hands specifically. Even though people's lives are definitely in my hands as a pharmacist, I didn't want it to be in my hands as a medical doctor, if that makes sense. And plus, I didn't want to touch stuff. I can watch gross stuff all day, but I don't want to touch it. Like when I worked in the emergency room, people would come in with like crusty legs and fungus looking toes and all that stuff. Like, I don't want to touch that, you know. So I'll look at it, I don't want to touch it. So that was another reason too. What was my GPA before pharmacy school? My undergraduate GPA was a 3.4 and my graduate school GPA was a 4.0. Did I have any extracurricular activities? In undergrad, I really wasn't as active because I went to one school for the first 2 years of undergrad, and then I transferred and went to a school near home for the last 1.5 years of of undergrad, because I graduated my undergrad in 3.5 years. So I moved back home so I could save money for pharmacy school. So the first 2 years I wasn't that active, but in graduate school I did join 2 graduate organizations. Honestly, I can't even tell you what those organizations are right now because I'm just so pharmacy based right now, but I have to look at my resume and I could tell you guys what organizations those were. But I did coach a little girls cheerleading team, volunteer as a cheerleading coach for a little competition team, so I did that for a while and that was really fun. Do I like the pharmacy program that I'm in? That is a great question. I would like to plead the fifth on this question and answer this question after I graduate, but I'm going to give you a basic rundown. Do I like the program? It's okay. Are there better programs? I believe there probably are, but I'm not going to go into too much detail. I just don't like the money hungriness of the school, I should say. This school definitely wants the money. Now, they have been accommodating to me when I have had to miss class for being in the hospital and things like that, but this school definitely wants the money. And we don't get hardly any benefits from it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to GPHA's Day of the Dome last year, there were students there from like UGA and Mercer, and they had business cards and they get like little t-shirts and stuff. We don't get business cards. We don't even get free t-shirts. Like, I just want a free t-shirt. But I'm not gonna get into that right now. What do I plan to do after graduating? This is the last question. After graduating, I just pray I get a residency, guys. I really want to get a residency. So if you're out there, if you're a praying person, pray that I get a residency. Help a sister out because I really want to get a residency. That's what I plan to do after graduation, get a residency. If I don't get a residency, I'm gonna try to get a staff pharmacist position in a hospital and work that for a year at least, and then try again to get a residency. Even though it's like residents make half the amount of pay than a regular pharmacist, I would gladly accept that pay cut to get that extra knowledge. My thing is, I'm a very hands-on learner. I believe a residency would help me you know, learn more about pharmacy. And I want to be in the clinical aspect. You can't really do clinical pharmacy if you don't have a residency, and I really would prefer to do clinical pharmacy rather than like retail and dispensing type pharmacy. So I really want to get a residency, guys. That's what I want to do after graduating. I like the emergency room. I loved working in the emergency room when I was a scribe, so I would love to do emergency room pharmacy if I could, or VA pharmacy is another area that I really would like to get into. So either one of those two areas I would love, because VA, I heard they got great benefits. But yeah, so that's what I plan on doing after pharmacy school. And please, you guys, if you have any more questions, leave them below. I have more questions that people have asked me. I just haven't had time to type all the questions out, but this video already had 25 questions and I didn't want to make it too long. So anyways, if you have more questions, please comment them down below. And if there's a bunch of questions, I can make a frequently asked questions video number 2. And thank you guys so much for watching my channel. And I'm almost done, guys. Just keep staying with me and you'll see me make it to the end. But anyways, thanks guys for watching, and please like, subscribe, and comment. Talk to you later.